May it be a light for you in dark places when all other lights go out.
Hey guys, this is DCHL Devin here.
And this is DCHL Walker.
And we're doing our next question and answer video that we're going to follow up for last week's questions. And actually, we're going to do things just a little different. We're actually going to do the exact same format you guys saw last time, but we're going to take a part of the questions. We're going to do them in this video. We're going to answer those questions. Then follow up with our other segment of the video where we answer questions on the forum, the One Rings, talk about topics in the Lord of the Rings news. And you're going to actually see more posts from us because we actually got a lot of questions. And rather than a massive hour-long video, we're just going to kind of segment it up and distribute it across multiple days. So if you don't see your question here in this video, don't worry, we're going to hit all the questions. You will be covered. We just want to give adequate amount of time to everybody. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and jump to the first question they're in. And what do we got?
Let's see. So this is from Jeremy Smith. He wanted to thank us for our channel and tell us to keep up the good work. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And he wanted to know about our league, how many regulars versus stragglers we have, and where do we play, and how often, and the league rankings. So, bless you. So you want to hit up that first?
Yeah, actually, we are actually a league in almost every sense of the word. We're actually a community of 5 different gaming organizations. We have the Lords of Middle-earth for our Maryland group, and they have actually like quite a few members. I don't have exact numbers for you, but I guess regular members. Well, here, I'll just name off all of them. There's the Richmond Warmancers, which are in Richmond. There is the Chantilly group, which is in Chantilly, Virginia. And then you have, well, us. We're in Springfield, Virginia.
DCHL.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have a smaller group from Columbia, which is also in Maryland. Not Columbia, the country. And
You went there?
yeah, honestly, some people in Britain might be like Columbia.
Yeah,
true. So basically, altogether, the league is comprised of about 40 to 50 people. When you consider the fact that many of the groups have like 10 to 15 or 10 to 12, stuff like that. As far as regular active members, very difficult to say, considering I'm not involved 100% in all of their groups all the time. I can say for our group, the Springfield group, we actually have, I'd say it's about like
a quarter of 10 guys.
Yeah, about 10. I'd say it's where you could say I could call up any of them. It's like, all right, get a game going. But yeah, that's the local community for the DCHL, and
then to answer your last part about rankings, we actually had a discussion like this. We just get better as we play each other, so we don't really have rankings. There's definitely a distinction between. There's the more veteran players, and there is the newer guys.
Yes.
But the veteran, like, I would say we're veterans.
Yeah, we're
or at least
playing
obsessed.
Since the Stone Age.
Yeah.
So.
I've been playing since it first came out.
Yeah, same with me.
We always help our new guys, and then with hobby classes, building, and then army lists, and then playing against them. So that's how we kind of foster our community and keep it pretty strong. So yeah, that's it for him. That's it from Jeremy.
Oh,
he goes on to do a shout out to the Brown Ring.
He's doing a challenge to Chicago players, which we actually hope to see them in our Historicon and Nova tournaments.
Nova, yeah,
either one. So that'd be awesome.
I'm working on my list for Nova right now, guys. It's pretty hardcore.
Historicon's right around the corner.
Yeah,
so that'll be exciting.
That'd be fun.
All right, so we have Al Wood.
Yep.
He actually, what does he got? He says, hope you guys don't mind, but he's typing this as watching the video. He had a Mordor Army list question. I guess he's talking about the Shadow Lord. He's talking about reducing his auto hit as if he were shooting 3 attacks.
Reducing Legolas's auto hit within 6 inches of the Shadow Lord. Yeah, so he needs 6 to hit. Yeah, that's cool, but the problem is you need to get within 6 inches.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. No.
That's what he's asking right now.
Well, yeah. I believe the question is, how does the Shadow Lord work, I guess. But well, basically the way Shadow Lord works, the model he's talking about is actually a ring wraith. Yeah. Everything 6 inches of the Shadow Lord, you need a 6 to hit it. So Legolas is forced to take an auto wound. I'm sorry, an auto hit rather than rolling the 3. I mean, if he's asking our opinion of the model, yeah, I think it's great. In fact, he was a staple before the warband deployment came out. Actually, though, I think his real question is down below. Warg Riders, what advantage do they have over other Isengard units?
And honestly, Al, you actually listed all of the benefits to having them. They're going to be, what are we going to use today? 4 tacos more? 4 tacos more than the other ones.
As you guys know, we can't say the points on the video, so...
So they're 4 tacos more than a Uruk-hai warrior.
No, I don't think we can be that. Like, I don't know. But, they're a little more expensive.
They're a little bit more expensive, but you have that faster movement. You get that +1 attack on the charge. And then if you win, you get those double amount of wound chances to wound. And that's the key to them. Problem is you got to get that charge. So the heroic... oh man, I can't use my brain tonight. Heroic movement.
Yeah.
You need a heroic move sometimes when you lose priority.
Now the real question actually at the bottom is one actually we did answer on the uses for useless models actually just recently, which is why use two-handed weapons, especially when you know you can't roll anything greater than a 5. And to that I say, and this is actually what I said in my post, was you use it when you know, well, number one situation, you know you're going to win the fight. If your opponent has 2 dice, you have 4 dice, and you have the higher fight value, then your other 3 guys are going to pretty much take care of it for you.
Yeah.
They're going to win the fight. And this is especially useful when you know your opponent, you're going to need a 6 to wound them. A lot of times you're going to waste a lot of time with that exact scenario. You have 4 guys, and for some reason you didn't roll a 6. Odds are you actually won't roll a 6 a lot of the times, even with 4 dice. Yeah. 4, 5, sometimes 6. So what the two-handed strike allows you to do is to use that situation, you make sure you move on. You want to just get rid of that model. Otherwise you are tying up a lot of models in a single dude. Or a lot of attacks that could be used elsewhere. And the less models your opponent has, the more he's going to start to lose. It's like almost a landslide effect.
Yeah.
The other time you could see it often used is when you, I don't want to say if you know you're going to die. That's generally where Piercing Strike takes into effect.
Yeah, that definitely helps. But the awesome thing is do a Piercing Strike with a two-handed weapon.
Oh, yeah.
So you need, typically you'll end up, hopefully you'll need 3s to wound, so it goes down to 2s. And then you kill, even a dwarf would die pretty easily from all that.
If you combine them up, then and a lot of armies actually have the axes to do that.
And the evil is the best at it because you have expendable models. They're cheap, like goblins, for instance, regular orcs and things like that have the two-handed weapons. They're cheap, they're expendable, you're not worried about losing 1 or 2. You definitely want to try to double them up. So have a regular sword and shield guy, orc, let's say, and a two-handed orc with an axe. And if you got 2 on 1, your odds are in your favor, so you do the special striking and the two-handed weapon, which hopefully it'll make you easier to kill your opponent, and that's the whole point.
Yep. All right, so hopefully we answered your question with that. Next, what's the next question we got?
No, right here.
Okay. I'm going to butcher these usernames, but I believe Acthon39.
Yeah.
Actually, he's regular on both the GBHL and TCHL. He says he doesn't really have a rules query, but he's just asking about a list. And I'll go ahead and...
That's the whole list, right?
You actually can see the list now on the screen. Basically, you see he has a Gimli, 4 Khazad Guard, 4 Dwarf Shields, King's Champion, 2 Heralds, 4 Khazad Guard, 4 with Shields. Hold on one sec.
4 Dwarf Warriors with Shields.
Okay.
And Murrin and Doran.
Interesting he chose to do companies, warbands of 8 rather than the full 12. I guess maybe just for certain scenarios and stuff like that.
He was trying to break all of them up so that they're all in the same.
Yeah.
He's distributed the models evenly amongst his warbands. That's why.
Okay. So we got 30 total. Need to kill 16 break and 22 to be reduced. Now here's the thing: 30 total. But what is the point size on this?
I would say it's probably 700 points. Just from looking at it off the top of my head, I think it's 700 points. Let us know.
Yeah. When you guys post lists to us, let us know the points. We can go through these ahead of time, and I guess just figure it out and calculate it, but it'd be just a ton easier if you're just like, oh, it's this many points. for I guess we'll say 700 point list, 30 models. I worry about that. It probably isn't even 700 points, is it?
No, it's probably somewhere around there.
Okay.
Maybe a little less.
Yeah, go ahead and post the points value so that way when we go through these, we don't have to try to calculate it in our head.
Well, let's answer this question. This is a good list. Yes.
Yeah.
The Kazan Guard with the leader, obviously you're going to make your Gimli your leader. They're not going to break. They're not going to go anywhere, even if you hit that breaking point after you lose 16 models, which is really hard to do against dwarves.
Yes.
Oh, I hate dwarves.
Also, Mern and Gerard, I definitely recommend upgrading the guys to Strength 4. For those of you who don't know, Mern and Gerard are able to upgrade them to veterans, I believe. Iron Hills veterans. I forgot the name of the upgrade is.
They
but
can do only to Rangers, though, right?
No, Rangers and Dwarf Warriors.
Rangers and Dwarf.
Yeah,
Even
so both of them. Yep, I would absolutely say upgrade them and get that Strength 4. Yeah, the point is to hold the line while the King's Champion and Gimli butcher through. But if you win a fight...
You want your dwarves to be doing damage as well,
Yeah.
because you really need it. You can't rely on your characters to do all the killing.
Exactly. Especially, but 30 models, I guess, with dwarves. I mean, you're not going to die very easily. So, yeah, I actually think the list is great. 2 heralds, a banner, yeah, I think it's awesome. So,
some bows, some range. Yeah.
Yep. If you want improvements to that list, just points value below. Just ask us in the next for the next video, and we will say, all right, let's see what direction you're trying to go, what you're trying to tournament. You know, list a little bit more information.
Yeah, if you're going to Nova or
Historicon doubles or something,
or Adepticon or all that
or what are you doing?
craziness.
So.
Yeah, let us know, and if you know the scenarios too, that'll help. Because if a small condensed force might be good at some things, whereas other things will be bigger.
All right, so next question we have from Clint Whitney.
Yep.
And he's asking, what do you think of the top 4 Nazgul? I have my list. I
don't have a list.
He doesn't have a list. All right, so we're not. I guess I won't run through them, but in my opinion, all right. Now, I originally, first one I would have put at the top of the list back in the day was the Shadow Lord. 100% hands down before the deployment where you came in close. Shadow Lord. Nowadays, I don't think this is necessary. Actually, I'd have to say Dark Marshal.
Yeah, I would go with Dark Marshal first.
Dark Marshal is definitely one of the best. I think his banner range of 6 inches is awesome for evil armies.
Yeah.
And he actually has an appropriate amount of might, will, and he's actually a decent caster too. He's just kind of an all-around good ring wraith that has a mix of everything you kind of need.
I play an Easternling force, so I'm partial to Kamal. Kamal, am I saying it right?
Yeah, Kamal the Easterling.
He's really cool.
If I had to pick a fighter ring wraith,
Witch King with the iron crown, he's the only one that's really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of have to give it to also the Knight of Umbar. I mean, the Knight of Umbar is almost restricted to fighting high point characters because you really want to
steals everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're fighting lower level guys, you're not going to butcher through them as fast.
Throw him up against like Gimli.
Man. Well, let's go ahead and pick one: Betrayer, Witch King, or the Knight of Umbar, combat hero. I'm so good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to the Knight of Umbar.
No, Knight of Umbar because of the ability to combat.
Yeah. I also. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and give it. Oh, or Kamul. Kamul was the last one you just mentioned.
Yeah, Kamul's really great. In an
Eastern
force.
All right, here's mine. I'll just give it the rundown real quick. Dwimmerlake, Dark Marshal, in my opinion. The Knight of Umbar, if you're going to go for a combat hero. And I have to say, the Undying.
All right.
Yeah.
Witch King doesn't even make your list.
You know what? Here's what I'm looking at. If I want a combat-oriented hero, I kind of feel like the Dark... I kind of feel like Kamul and the Undying kind of do it. Not the Undying. I just said his name. The Knight of Umbar do it just as well. If I'm looking for a magic caster, I'm kind of feeling like the Undying comes in hands down.
Yeah,
I mean,
Undying.
Yeah, so
I agree with you there.
The Witch King is a jack of all trades type of guy, but I don't find myself using him all that often, and it might be due to cost. He definitely costs the most of all the ring range.
True.
So, maxed out. We're really strictly talking about maxed out. It also kind of depends on the list. If I'm bringing an Angmar army, then I will tend to play the Witch King more. Obviously, because he can lead Angmar troops. But I'm just saying, all the ring rays, so I'm playing a Mordor force. Which one do I want? I tend to pick those 4. And the Dormlink just because he's a pain in the butt. So that's my 4. And you, real fast, what's your 4?
I don't have 4, but I'm going to just say a word of caution with everything, guys. Think about what your army is doing in the first place. What do you have? And then take the appropriate ring wraith to augment your abilities of how you want to utterly destroy your opponent.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's a ring wraith for each thing. So and we kind of covered all.
I mean, because obviously, if you're playing a Herod Force, well, then the Betrayer, whom I didn't even mention in my top 4, is now the number 1.
Right.
So
because poison on 2.
Yeah, it definitely matters on what list you're talking about. But I'm just saying, if I have to say most frequently played in a Mordor Force, it's going to be those. With Dark Marshal probably at the top. So, all right, and we'll go ahead and review this as the last question for this video, maybe depending on I guess how long. Lord of the Brown Ring. Actually, we've been having the longest conversation ever with this guy. We've been talking about.
We'll keep talking with you. Don't worry.
Yeah, we love talking with you. So, he says, "Hey guys, thanks for the personalized response and continuation of great videos. We appreciate you for that." He says so this is actually in response to our Morgul Knights. We're discussing the usefulness of Morgul Knights. And he said he's used them against Wood Elves, since he'll talk smack against them. It was a 750 point game, and he used 6 with the Dark Marshal. They did a decent amount of work, but failed, and I'll give you a concise example of why I don't take them. Before I reached combat, my opponent killed 2 and took the horse off another.
Yeah.
Yep, I understand it. That's pretty much 50 points gone with a few points of bows. This is why I talked about the bow strength. Yes, strength 2 bows need 6s, but at tournaments I fear Morgul Knights being hit by these elves. You're at crossbows, or like you said, spam bows. He'd rather take 10 Hunter Orcs than 4 Morgul Knights. Much easier to cut through people and turn the tide of a battle. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about that first, because then he goes into one more question. But, okay. You're getting shot by bows. Now, one thing I do see a lot of times with Cav, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but a lot of people tend to take their Cav, and because they're able to charge faster, they do. And so they'll march them way ahead of their main line, or they'll just kind of charge them at, or they're way exposed. And that is definitely not how they should be played at all. They're a flanking force, as mentioned. If they get shot down, it's a lot of points wasted.
Yep.
So they should be in the back ranks and letting your other army, your infantry should hit first. I mean, just hands down guarantee. So you shouldn't be shot at all. By the time your infantry make contact with the enemy, their archers should be pretty well tied up, in which case the Cav maneuver around the sides and the back.
Yep.
So there's not too many options to get shot there if you do it in that fashion. Actually, even our Herod forces, when we play like tons and tons of Haradrim Lancers, the Haradrim Cav are never sent in first. We always send in the infantry, and then the Haradrim Cavalry will come in and through the sides and stuff like that, through heroic marches or something like that, get them right into position, and then you charge in after the battle lines are met. I mean,
I'm not sure how many of you guys actually look at historical battles at all, but I gain a lot of tactics from them. Go back to the medieval times. The lance, the heavy armored lance formation from the French was the most devastating thing for, what I want to say, like 100 years or so. Basically, everybody copied them. Knights in heavy armor with lances, shields, charging across the battlefield, could not be stopped. They would not always charge first. The lines would be engaged, and they would hit the flanks or the rear guard, and that's really what you want to do. Also, something to try out, the Lord of the Brown Ring, is take only 1 or 2. You don't need 6.
Well, I mean,
4.
6 in a 750 point game, though.
That's still a lot. You should 4.
You really think
take
that's still
take 4? All right, and this is what you do with them. So you hold them back, just like Devin was talking about, right behind your main battle line. You can put them on a heavy one side, either 4 on one side of your force, or split them 2 and 2. They're made to wrap around and hit that shaman, hit that banner that's behind it, lock up that character, because they can actually take down characters, and that's what the good thing is about them. Go after that ring wraith. Go after those things that are hiding out behind the force, because they have the speed to run around the flanks and hit them hard and hurt.
Actually, one idea we could do to settle this, because obviously we could probably go back and forth like this for a little while, is a bat rep. Maybe we put Morgul Knights in a future bat rep.
You have Morgul Knights?
Yeah,
I'll build
I have
a
like
list.
12 of them.
Yeah, we'll set up a bat rep. We'll do it.
All right.
I'll play them.
And if you want, we might not even just be us two. Maybe we'll play against one of the Richmond Warmancer guys or something like that.
Somebody.
And we'll just show how we would tend to use them, and we'll have them play shooting force.
Hey, do you want to do build a list and play it this weekend on Saturday?
All right. We can't promise, obviously, the bat rep will be done on that time. As you guys know, bat reps, yeah.
We'll put it on the DCHL, and we'll do pictures of the battle and do like kind of each turn.
We'll certainly discuss it. We'll discuss
we'll
those different ways that we'll
something.
do it. But yeah, we'll just do a bat rep. We'll just show, all right, here's how I would use Morgul Knights, because it's definitely a big question. And actually, another one that interests me is Rivendell Knights. Someone actually called me out on the usefulness of Rivendell Knights, and he actually claimed that a full army of Rivendell Knights, like 100% Rivendell Knights, is a tournament-winning force.
Yes, can be.
And I guess Walker agrees with you. So
I agree with you. But the thing that we came to with that one, it has to be tactically played to perfection.
Yeah, exactly.
It is not a newbies list that somebody can pick up and fight against anybody and do fairly well. It's you need to precisely move. You need to kind of know where your opponent's going, what kind of tactics they're going to use. If they're a horde force, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to need to be pretty on with your dice rolls and stuff like that. So, anyways, we got a little off topic.
Yep. So just this last comment, we'll just take a minute. And you said for the Strength 2 bow thing, you said he's seen a good amount of them. In tournaments is what he's referring to. But usually, but they didn't do much. Usually it's the non-bowfire part of the army that does well. But he digresses. And as true, bowfire is meant to whittle down an opponent, not to destroy them. 40k players have a hard time adjusting to this. They see tons of bow shots and not much dies, and it's just like, wait, what? Because that's not where it's meant to die.
Like you said, you talked about Hunter Orcs compared to Morgul Knights. The same thing, the bow fire is there in case your opponent doesn't have bows. Then you could use it to your advantage. It gives you tactical flexibility. But if you're going to have bows and you're Hunter Orcs against like elves, charge them. You're not going to stick around. You're not going to outshoot him. You want to get him in hand-to-hand combat and take advantage of his light armor. Pesky elves.
All right, well now we're going to go into the second part of our video where we cover topics on the One Ring forums or the Last Alliance forums and just discuss things that are happening in the community.
Yeah.
All right, and so for our first question, we actually have what is your favorite cavalry and why? This is actually a poll in the One Ring forums. It's actually pretty popular right now, and it seems like the answer, I'm really going to have to use these guys a lot more. Apparently, I may have got them wrong in my How to Play video. I've played only 6, but Knights of Rivendell, really popular choice. So this will be interesting. I honestly can't say Knights of Rivendell. I have played with them, and I'm not a fan of them. It seems like I'm going to have to buy like a box of 20 and take on the challenge of seeing how they work in a game. If I have to say favorite cavalry, hands down, without including Warg Marauders, because they're kind of a weird sort of cavalry. And
they're on here. Warg Rider.
Are they?
Yeah. Warg Rider, Tracker, Hunter.
Warg Marauders are not on there.
Oh, Warg Marauders.
Yeah.
Oh, from the goblins.
Yeah, exactly. They do not seem to be included.
You could add that on there. That is
no. Because everyone would pick
cavalry.
them. Everyone would pick them. Just
that's because they're awesome.
Yeah. Well, it'd be a hands down. There wouldn't even be a need for a poll. So beyond that.
So discounting the one that's the best,
I'm gonna say
go with the
Serpent Rider.
Serpent Rider, why?
All right, cheap, very hard hitting. I mean, when you can spam a cav model that can get +1s on the roll to wound and re-roll the ones, I mean, and it's very, very cheap. Plus fight 4, I mean, they're fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic models. And they don't leave pretty easily either. So I think, yeah, them or Harajim Raiders. Harajim Raiders, just the fact that they're cheap and spammable, and they never need a 6 to wound on the charge. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is really good.
So, what do you think?
Now, I'm a little biased because I think Knights of the Lamb are off. And the reason being is I love Knights. And Knights of the Lameroth look like true, elegant, 100% Knights. There's nothing cooler than having Prince Imrahil and all his merry band of knights charging across the battlefield with their armor steeds. It looks really cool.
Yeah. Actually,
I've played the army. I have so much fun playing it, and it's not necessarily the most tactically best army, but it's just fun to watch your opponent go, oh crap, there's tons of knights. What do I do? Shoot, 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 shoot. Go, go. Run away. No, you can't run.
There was actually this awesome battle I saw. This guy was playing, Andrew actually, of our community, was playing dual Amroth list. And there was another player playing an Angmar force, and he had like 2-3 Barrow-wights, he had a Birder. I mean, he had a pretty competitive force in my opinion. It was actually played during one of our tournaments. And, I mean, this dual Amroth army destroyed the Angmar force and lost 1 casualty. I mean, they just came in there and crushed them. It was, yeah, that was a pretty epic thing. But that's a lot of skill to use like that.
It's just cool. So, but any Cav army is going to require quite a bit of skill and luck. Train using it to your advantage and everything like that. So, yeah, that's my choice.
Okay, and for our second question is a question from Overlord Shepherd on the One Ring forums, and basically asks questions about Balrog and Sauron experience in a given army. His question's actually a multi-part question thing, but we'll go ahead and hit it all. And for his first one, he says, for starters, regarding the Balrog and Sauron, did one of these actually make their points back in one of your battles? Well, I'll go ahead and answer and start that one. Yeah, as far as Sauron, if you play him right, he makes his points back every time. Yeah. I mean, almost every single time. I mean, I have literally destroyed an entire army with him. Actually, I prefer to use the Necromancer as opposed to Sauron. And this is most due to his Chill Soul. If you channel his Chill Soul ability, it does a Strength 5 hit and a 3-inch area effect. And 6-inch diameter, by the way. It's 3 inches from the target. So 6 inches of coverage. If you use a Ring Wraith, right? You have a Ring Wraith, or with Sauron, you quickly... you prefer to do this with a Ring Wraith so you can cast this as quick as possible while they're far away from you. But you sap their will of anyone who can resist you, and then just blast the formation. I mean, strength 5 hits, not much of surviving that assault. No. What do you think? Have you made any points back with, let's say, a Balrog?
No, not with a Balrog. But, I mean, nothing... The games that I've played with the Balrog, nothing's killed the Balrog, so... But he's slaughtered everything he came in the base contact. He doesn't have any mass killing effects like Sauron does.
And it's mostly because he has no might, too.
Right. But he will go toe-to-toe with any hero and usually kill all of them, so...
And that's the thing about the Balrog is, yeah, me personally, I've never seen him make his points back. And ultimately, he does cause the problem of your opponent can just kill everything else and not have to deal with him. And he has no might to get around. He can't even fly, so that's kind of annoying. Can he fly?
No.
Yeah, I don't think he can.
They're not real wings.
Yeah, exactly, like shadow.
They're ghosts.
So
smog.
So yeah, the Balrog almost never makes his points back. But that's not really the reason you use him. If I had to use a Balrog in a list, and I rarely would recommend it, use him to really disrupt the hell out of things. I think hurling with him at strength 10 is insane.
That's you'll kill. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, you're hurling things like 10 inches.
Yeah, the last time I played with a Balrog, you didn't have hurling.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, back in the day, Balrog sucked. In fact, I'd argue it was the most useless model in the game. Biggest point sink ever. But nowadays,
with hurling
you
can earn your points back.
Oh, yeah. Really, you can. I wouldn't say you can earn them back because that amount is really tough. But maybe. But
if you go after characters.
Yeah. If you go after
characters.
Yep.
Win the fight, pick up that character, chuck them through like the line. Who cares if you hit your own guys?
There you go. Just keep them.
You get him as many hits as possible, so the character dies, and he just takes out as many people with him. That's how you'd earn your points back with them. Is go after a character specifically. So.
And there you go. And second, at what kind of point game are you looking at to want to field one? 700.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Plus. You put on here 750, 700 plus.
You're right in that range.
More
Sauron without a ring. No, I wouldn't put him in 600. Yeah, like 700. That's why I prefer the Necromancer because he doesn't not so much of a point sink. But yeah, about that range. And the Balrog, you're definitely not below 700. Otherwise, you're really hurting yourself.
Third question.
Is it worth it to take Sauron in your army without the ring? Yeah, absolutely. Unanimous, yes. Actually, to be honest with you, I'd argue take him without it all the time.
The cool thing is if you read the rules for the ring, if he doesn't have the ring, if you take the ring, it steals the ring from anybody else that can normally take it. So Bilbo Baggins, Frodo, Isildur, and stuff like that. So it just takes it from them, right? So they don't get it. So they waste their points there. However, if you don't take the ring on them, they are removed as a casualty. Way cooler.
Honestly, when you're talking about his defense value, which I believe is like 8.
10.
Is it 10?
Yeah.
Defense 10? Wow, alright, then there you go.
It's
Why?
ridiculous.
I mean, 5 wounds, defense 10. Let's say he never had the ring. Would you care?
No.
No. Like, I honestly would argue that taking the ring is more for, like, epic scenarios. But otherwise, it's a massive point investment, and you're already making a massive point investment with him. You want him to make his points back?
No
Stop
ring.
taking the ring. Yeah,
No
that
ring.
really helps you bring that value down. Trust me, he's not dying easily at all, unless you go against like Aragorn. But how many of those? Or Zog. Zog might kill him pretty quickly.
Gilgalad.
Gilgalad would do work. Yeah, he would pretty much do
That fight
pretty
of
well.
9.
Yeah, he could do work. But I mean, you're talking
He'd
about the
win.
biggest baddies of the entire game.
Well, yeah, that's what you need to throw.
Yeah, exactly. Other
You
than
need to
that-
throw Gilgalad, a first stage elf, to fight Sauron.
Yeah,
I
but the
mean,
thing is, for tournament play where you don't know you're going against Sauron,
Yeah.
a ring isn't necessary because
No.
those guys aren't going to be around. And you need to focus on numbers when you're bringing someone that big.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'd actually say take him without the ring more often than not.
So,
And
the last question?
what kind of army do you build around them? Swarm army. He actually mentioned it right in there.
Yeah.
You need a swarm army. Don't
And
take
why
much
do you
less.
take a swarm army, Devin?
Well, for multiple scenarios, one, but I mean, well, okay, first off, the 25% thing. Most of the scenarios cover in 25%, so you're going to want to keep your numbers high enough where the opponent isn't just devastating the rest of your force, and then ignoring Sauron. You want him to be unignorable. Two,
Yep.
if you're going to cast that magical blast, you need enough troops where you can hold them off and still blast them with it and not feel uncomfortable about that, in the sense of getting down to broken and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The only other way I can imagine him being played, especially if there is no limit to this, is you play an army of heroes that are huge, but this is easier done with good than evil.
Yeah, the good Eel doesn't have it as good. But with Sauron, we were talking about this, and you take a ring wraith with him as well.
Yeah.
So you already have quite a few. There's your 2 warbands. That's probably
And by
all
ring
you're
wraith,
gonna have.
not a 120 point hero ring wraith.
The
I meant
70.
the 55s.
Yeah,
or
the
whatever.
cheaper ones.
Yeah. So
They're support. That's
yeah.
all they are for.
So
with the Balrog, goblins. Warrior goblins.
He's already in that list anyway.
Yeah, he's already in that list, and
Yeah.
some people don't know.
Okay.
Take lots of goblins, and you're good.
So
Maybe a cave troll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all we have for today, guys.
Oh, he had a PS.
Oh, does he have PS? Any other units that kill your points?
Okay, I don't understand that.
And any other units? I guess. Oh, okay. So this is he's basically asking questions about monsters in general that are huge, and he brought Sauron and the Balrog as an example. And I'd say other examples you can follow is
Smaug.
Smaug. Well, Smaug is a list. But other than that, yeah, he's talking about those guys with like 300-400 points.
Yeah.
But I think that answer is the same answer can pretty much follow for those.
True.
So thanks, guys, for following us on this Light in the Dark episode. And join us next time. As I said, we're going to actually be doing multiples of these shorter videos throughout the week. So if you didn't see your question on this one, see it then.